Hey, what's up, gang? It's Adam from the Commander Smiths, and it's been a while. It's been a little bit since I've done the old Spotlight deck here. So tonight I'm going to be working on Azlask, the Swelling Scourge. How this is all going to work out is basically I'm going to go through, as you can see there, I have 152 cards that I need to cut down to 52, or obviously I need to cut 52 cards. I already have the lands in here and everything, so we're good there. For the most part, how it's going to work is I'm going to go through all the cards I have in here, so kind of giving you some ideas if you wanted to build this deck as well, and some options. I also have some stuff on the sideboard that I already cut. I might make cuts as we're going along because there's certain cards I'm like, I don't necessarily want that in there, but I wanted to show you guys them. But then the goal is, after I go through all the cards, which generally takes half hour, 45 minutes to go through all 150. Well, cut out the lands. We're not going to talk about the lands. Everybody's land bases are different. Then I'm going to go through it and start making the cuts. And I could use your guys' help. And if I need some ideas, I can tell you right now, I think I'm okay with drawing, but that's one area where I'm like, I want some either token generation drawing. You'll see when we get to it. I feel like I want one or two more cards to add to this. So if you guys have ideas that I don't have in here, I can check those out. There are some that I've already thought of that I'm like, it just doesn't fit in the theme or whatever. If it fits theme, then it's fantastic. If it doesn't, then we just got to kind of work it in there. So, and really quick, if you haven't done so already, please like this video if you're watching this now. That helps us out more than you know. I know you hear that on every single video, but that does help us out. Helps us grow as a channel. If you haven't subscribed, also do that. That helps us out as well. So, all right, let's get things started because we got a little bit in front of us. If we get ahead on this, I will probably goldfish so you guys can see how it plays. That helps me figure out how the deck is flowing. Goldfishing is always something you should do. A lot of times it's after the deck is complete or when I'm close with it. When I'm within like 10 cards or so, that's when I start to goldfish to see, okay, is it clunky in this spot? Do I need more draw? Do I need more ramp? I can tell you right now, because this is making Eldrazi Scion, the idea of what I want to do with this deck, there's two parts. One, I want to generate the Eldrazi Scion. I did make a deck way back in the day with Mazarek where that was my angle was making Eldrazi Scion. When you sacrifice those, everything's getting 1/1 counters. And so they just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm kind of using the same idea, but the other twist into this is there's about, I think there's 7 or 8 experience counter commanders. Not all of them are good. I think I have 5 in here that actually work well with the deck. There's 2 or 3 that I was like, nope, this just doesn't work with the deck. Even though this is 5 color, I could shove them all in here, but I want them to work with this deck. So we'll get to that when we get that. So let's just talk about Azlask really quick. So it's a 3-drop 2/2 Eldrazi. When this or another colorless creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. So you could play artifact creatures. You could make this an artifact deck if you wanted. Like I said, you want the Scions and the Spawns because of the next part. You pay Wooburg, so you have white, blue, black, red, green, and it's not a tap ability. You can do this at any point. Creatures you control, all your creatures. So it's not just the Scions, it's all your creatures. Get X+X until end of turn, where X is the number of experience encounters you have. And then your Scion and Spawn creatures you control gain Indestructible and Annihilator 1 until end of turn. So if you don't know, you should know what Annihilator is, but if you don't, Annihilator, what it is, when you attack before anything is done, before there's blockers or whatever, that whatever opponent you're attacking has to sacrifice whatever number. So this is Annihilator 1, they have to sacrifice 1 permanent. So if you're attacking with 5 things that have Annihilator 1, they have to sacrifice 5 things, permanents, before they can even choose their blockers. So the idea is you get all your Scions out, you get all your creatures out, they're generating your Scions or your Spawns, and then you just swing in and basically demolish 1 player, 2 players, maybe more. And then the experience counters are going to come into play here. The cool thing is you want to use those Scion and Spawn tokens to get your experience counters up because you want to get that X+X. You don't have to, though. You can just tap the Wooburg, give 0+0, and just build up your army of Spawns and Scions, and they have Annihilator 1 and Indestructible. So, I mean, they're not going to die. You swing in, wipe somebody's board just from the Annihilator. So, all right, let's get started. Let's talk about some of the cards here. I do have them already kind of organized. The first one we're going to talk about is one that's actually, it's not out yet, but this is going to be perfect. It's in the Bloom Barrel set. So it'll be out in about, a couple weeks here. So this is the 3 there. Obviously, I'm not going to go through. You can see what it is there. I'm not going to do each part. But the nice thing with this one is you're able to tap those tokens and either add mana, so you can help you cast that, do that Wooburg part, or you can draw off of it. You tap 3 of them. I don't think you're going to be doing the tap 4 very much. I think it's more of the draw part and the ramp part that you're going to be using for this. So this guy is going to fit perfect in this deck. I'm excited to get this. I have to buy it for this deck. This is definitely not going to be cut. This is one of those that's staying there. Black Market Connections, great for this. We got ramp, we got draw. You're making, shape or changelings, so they are Scion and spawn tokens and whatever else. So that is going to help this as well. You just want to keep generating these tokens as much as you can, so that when you're swinging in, you're actually doing like lethal damage or taking out a player. Catacomb Sifter. So when this enters, you get a 1/1 Scion creature. And then whenever a creature you control dies, you get to scry one. So you get a little bit of a benefit off of your sacrificing your Scions and your spawns. Or even if something gets removed. And this is the Eldrazi as well, so that's going to help in this. Deep Fathom Skulker. Whenever your creature control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card, and then you can make things unblockable. So I think these are, for a lot of these, there's not going to be a lot of cuts in this part. Elven Chorus, this is just making it so your Scion creature token. So that's the cool thing. There's a couple of these in there. This is in the draw package. Yes, but it is also in the ramp package because there's we'll get to it. Cryptolith Right is another one that does this. Being able to tap those Scion tokens, and they're a sack ability. Like if you look back here, they're sacking to give you 1. So this is in theory giving you 2 mana if you really needed to get some bigger stuff out. I did not go the route, and I'm giving you that a warning ahead of time. I did not go the big Eldrazi. Like this is strictly the getting the Scion creature tokens out. You're going through and you're killing people with the Annihilator and the X+X. So that you don't need the big Eldrazi in this deck because you got the little guys and it's easier to get them out. Endbringer, it untaps during each player's untaps. The drawing part I liked in this for the tap 2. I might keep it in there. We're keeping it for now. The draw package needs some help, so I'm going to probably keep it there. Kindred Discovery, you're going to choose Eldrazi. When those Scion tokens or spawn tokens come in, you're also drawing off of that. When they attack, you're drawing. So this is an all-star in this. Bouldervine Reclamation, whenever a creature you control dies, which you're going to be doing because you want to get your experience counters up, you're going to gain life and draw cards off of that. Mystic Forge, not only for artifact spells off the top, but it's colorless spells. So a lot of these Eldrazi, like your Null Drifter here, it has... this one does... Oh, it is colorless right there. But I mean, even ones that have color, like the Deep Fathom, has Devoid. So you're able to utilize Mystic Forge, and you can pay 1 life, or exile one of the cards if you're not able to play that. So that's kind of nice there. Realm Walker is also an Eldrazi, so that works well there. And then you're able to play same thing as Mystic Forge kind of thing. You're picking Eldrazi, you're able to play that stuff off the top. Rumor Gatherer, so a lot of these are going to have when they enter, just for example, the Catacomb Sifter. When this enters, you're getting to scry 1 and then draw 1 because your Eldrazi Scion is also coming in there. Now you only get to draw that second time it happens. After that, you get to scry again. So if you put in a 3rd creature, a 4th creature, a 5th creature, then it's just scry. So this is just fantastic in this. Rumor Gatherer is just a great card, especially in those token decks. Sensei's Top, obviously. I mean, you got to have Senseis in there. Sire of Stagnation. I just like this card. It probably is going to get cut, but I like this card because people are playing lands. You're getting an advantage off of it. It's an Eldrazi. It isn't fitting with this is one of the biggest Eldrazi, like the one that doesn't fit in the theme. So right now I'm keeping it, but it's probably going to get cut. It's actually in the pre-con deck as is. I really do like this card. I've always tried to play with it because I think it's really good, but it always ends up getting cut. Skull Clamp, you're able to, in a pinch, put these on your Eldrazi. They're sacking themselves. You're drawing 2 cards, so that actually works very nice in this deck. Smothering Abomination. I love this card in sack creature decks. So you're beginning your upkeep, you're sacrificing a creature, but whenever you sacrifice a creature, draw a card. So you're using those tokens. Not only you're getting your experience counters up, you're drawing cards off of the sack. Unfathomable Truths. So draw 3 cards, create 1 Eldrazi spawn token for 5 at instant speed, which is not bad. That's actually pretty nice there. All right, so then we get to the EXP. I kind of have some... Oh, that's why I have Doubling Season. So there's also multipliers section in this. But these will affect your experience counter. So Doubling Season Vorinclex will affect you getting experience counters because it's talking about players. If you put 1 or more counter on a permanent or player, put twice that many. So again, there, effect would put tokens on the battlefield you control, blah, blah, blah. If an effect would place 1 or more counters on a permanent, oh, maybe not this one. Put twice that many. No, this one won't affect experience counters, but I am getting more tokens. We're going to take one of these off of there because it is not an EXP multiplier. So let's just make sure we got it all. Okay, so let's talk about our other EXP guys. So we're going to get our commander out. You're going to get experience. It's probably going to get targeted. It's probably going to get killed. The nice thing is, let's get a couple of these other guys that these are commanders that you build around. I've built a mirror deck. Actually, did I build it? Actually, Lowry built this deck. I've had this in a lot of decks. It was in my Mazarek deck as well. These are just great cards by themselves as commanders. So Azuri, whenever a creature 2 or less enters the battlefield, you get an experience counter. It's not non-token. So all your tokens, your Scion tokens, have power 2 or less. So your experience is going to really multiply pretty quick. And then at the beginning of your combat on your turn, you can put X11 counters where it's equal to the amount of experience counters. So this is going to pump one of your guys up pretty big, but really it's for that first part. You're going to get those experience counters without having things die. It's actually having your stuff come in. Mirren actually gives you, so you have recursion built in on this, but whenever another creature you control dies, get an experience counter. So this doesn't, like your commander, it's built on your commander or colorless creatures. This is any creature. Any creature dies, you get experience. And at the beginning of your end step, you can choose target creature in your graveyard. If it has converted mana cost less than or equal to the experience counters, you can put it into play. Otherwise, it just comes back to your hand. So that's nice as well. Minthara, I think that's right. Yep, Minthara. So this one has Ward X, where its protection is built on how many experience counters. But then at the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left, so this one isn't going to build as fast, but even if you're sacrificing your fetch lands, your Scion tokens, you're going to get 1 experience counters. But the cool thing is your creatures get 1+0 for each experience counter you have. So even those your little Scion tokens, when you decide to swing through with Annihilator, now they're sacking things, but they all get 1+0. So you're getting that X plus X plus the 1+0. Like this just stacks on top of each other. This is an all-star in there as well. All these are just fantastic. And then lastly, what is this guy? So it has flying, lifelink, and haste. When it attacks, you get an experience counter. Then you create a 2/2 red rebel that's tapped and attacking for each experience counter you have. And it doesn't have to be attacking that player. You can attack a different player. It's tapped and attacking, so you get around that propaganda. If somebody has that out, it's already tapped and attacking, so you don't have to pay that extra 2. And it's for each experience counter. They don't go away at the end of turn. They're always there. So this is just, and this one has the haste. So it's not like they see it coming. This one you hold back. You got, I don't know, 5-6 experience counters. Drop this bad boy down. Now you're attacking not only with the 3/3, but with 6 2/2s, however you want. You attack the player that's open with this guy that doesn't have a flyer, and then you send the other ones another direction. So it's just insane. Okay, so then Vorinclex, like I mentioned, when you get experience counters, you're adding to that multiplier there. All right, so now this is where we'll probably see some cuts while I'm going here. So, but I do want to show you all the ones that we have in here. So we have, this is also from the pre-con. When it comes into the battlefield, you can sacrifice any number of creatures with base power or toughness, 1 or less. You can create 4 for Eldrazi. I kind of like this one. I kind of want to keep in there because you're keeping all those Eldrazi Scions and spawn tokens in there. When you're sacrificing them, you're also getting your experience counters up. At that point, you might not even need to use the Annihilator because you just sacrificed all of them, right? And your experience goes up that exponentially. Now you have 4/4s that when you use the Wooburg and use the ability, they're 4/4s added on to, let's say you sacrifice 5 of them. They're 9/9 flying vigilant angels, Eldrazi angels. So this one's actually pretty much, I think, a good game winner in this. Breaker of Creation. Cast a spell, gain 1 life for each colorless permanent you control. It has hexproof from each color. And it too has Annihilator. So I like the life gain in this. I just don't know for 8. We'll keep them here for right now. We already talked about Deep Fathom, Echoes of Eternity. So now when you're casting those Eldrazi that are creating other Eldrazi, the Scions and Spawn tokens, you're getting double triggers. So whenever you cast a color spell, you're getting 2 of them. If it triggers an ability of a colorless spell you control, or another colorless permanent you control, it triggers an additional time. So there's multiple triggers that are happening in this. So this is definitely going to stay in there. It's one of the big guys. I will keep this in there. Eldrazi Displacer is going to be an all-star in this as well, because a lot of the Eldrazi that create the spawns and the Scions, it's an ETB. It's not a cast trigger, because I'm not using the big Eldrazi. It's the little guys that create it when they enter the battlefield. So you can do this to yourself. You can create more. You can use it for protection. You can also exile another target creature if you're trying to get through and they have somebody to block. Eldrazi Displacer is a very good card. Eldrazi Line Breaker at the beginning of your combat on your turn. Target creature control gets X+0, where it's the number of Eldrazi you control. I think we'll keep that for right now. We are going to have to make cuts here. So we got 52 cuts to make, so we'll get there at some point. All right, and then Emrakul's Messenger. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you get a spawn. Hey, how's it going, Bill? So this one's, you're drawing cards. This is going to draw you some cards in this, and it's each turn. So it's not on your turn. So if you're able to draw on other people's turns, that'll help as well. So I like this one in there. It's only a 2-drop. Endbringer, we already talked about. Flare Drone, whenever a colorless creature enters the battlefield, each opponent, oh no, it's target. I hate that. I don't like just target opponent stuff. I like hitting everybody. I like pissing everybody off, not just one person. For now, we'll keep it there. Herald of Kozilek. Color spells cost 1 less for 3. That's not too bad. This one gives you a bump. This one I might dump because we don't have a lot of Eldrazi that are over 7, and I'm not too concerned with the Scions. Oops. I got to make sure my mouse... Yeah, I have it in the right spot. Okay. Moving my mouse here. We're going to move this guy... Sideboard? Yeah. I could actually just cut that one. Mirror Entity is also going to be Eldrazi. Plus, you're going to give not only the bump that you get... Like, let's say they kill your Scion stuff. This at least is giving you a bump to all your creatures. It's also an Eldrazi. I think this one's kind of a nice little backup to it. Or an added bonus, because you could tap that Wooburg and maybe add a couple extra to bump your 0-1s and 1-1s a couple to actually do some pretty big damage. So I think Mirror Entity is a pretty nice one to have in there. Null Drifter is going to be nice because you're probably going to evoke it most of the time. I mean, it's nice to have that Annihilator in there. But you evoke it, you're getting, it's a colorless spell or a colorless creature. So you're going to get that experience counter and you're drawing 2 cards off of it. So that's probably what's going to happen with that one most of the time. Scion Summoner. So this is the Eldrazi that are giving you either Scions or Spawns. We already talked about that. Sowing Myco's Spawn. So this one's kind of nice because it's kind of ramp. And it is. You're going to cast this for 4. It's an Eldrazi. But it also has a kicker on it, so you can actually exile. Oh, the land part. I don't like that as much. But a 4-drop Eldrazi that's getting you. Well, this one might get cut. We'll see how our packages for the ramp and rocks and dorks. So this one might get cut because it's a 4-drop. But yeah, the kicker. If the kicker was, because we have another one where it's hitting artifacts. Is it this one? It is this one. So this one has the kicker where I can either bounce or I can kick for 1 to exile target artifact and or enchantment. I want to make sure I have my tags right on that. Yep, got removal there. Okay. So this one I definitely want to keep in there. This one's on the fence. That one might be a bye-bye. Titan's Vanguard. Whenever you cast a spell it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each colorless creature you control. So for 5, that's not too bad. You're pumping everything that's out there, and then when it attacks, everything gets another 1/1+1/1 counter on it. So your scions are getting bigger. I like this because it stays on it, whereas the other thing I was cutting just has the 1+1. This can keep getting bigger and bigger. So yeah, I dig that right now. Might get cut though because it's not. We're really focused on that Annihilator, and yeah, actually, I'll go sideboard. I got to get rid of some stuff. The face of the commander deck. This is just nice. Whenever you cast an Eldrazi spell, you can pay 2 and then you copy it, and then copy all activated trigger abilities. So yeah, you got to keep this in there because let's just say I wanted to cast the Scion Summoner. I had tap 5, and now I have 2 of those coming into play. I get multiples of the Scion tokens. It's great for the multiplier. And for 5, it's not too bad. That's a great face commander. All right, so now we got our multipliers. This is where things are a little more crazy, I guess. We got Adrix and Nev have 1 or more tokens, so we're creating more tokens. That's the same thing that's going to happen with Anointed. Doubling. We already talked about Echoes. Mondrak does the same thing, but we're getting twice as many. This one's getting you triple the tokens. Panharmonicon, we're getting double triggers, parallel lives. Roaming Throne is, so you're going to choose your Eldrazi. So when you're Eldrazi, if a triggered ability of another creature you control triggers. So let's check what our commander's doing again. Is it triggered? Okay, so when creatures die, now you're double triggering that. So now instead of getting 1 experience counter, we're now getting 2 experience counters. So you're getting that to go a lot faster. And that's kind of the key to this. You want to kind of almost do that overrun effect with that. So protection, we got 8 of them at this point. I kind of picked out my favorite ones that I use and a couple new guys. So Chroma's Will is a good game winner. Clever Concealment, you can convoke, so you can tap those guys down and have them phase out. This is one that comes with the deck, but it's also pretty nice. Exile non-land permanents. This is a spot removal protection, but you can choose 3, and you can choose it as many times as you want. So you can protect 3 things, or if you want those Scion tokens, boom, you're getting 3 of those easily off of that. Or if you need some removal. So I like mode stuff. So that one's really nice. Another one of the all-stars in the deck. I keep saying all-star, but this is in the actual pre-con all-star here. But target creature you control gains protection from each color, or you overload this bad boy and all your guys are unblockable. So that's kind of nice there. Here's Everybody Lives is really nice in this deck. Here's why. It's only 2. All your creatures gain hexproof and indestructible. Cool. Players can't gain hexproof until end of turn. Players can't lose. All creatures gain it, so it's not all just your creature. So that's fine. They have indestructible. You're like, oh, well, why are you giving them indestructible? Well, the thing is, Annihilator is for sacking. Or it sacks them. It gets around hexproof because you're not targeting them. They're choosing their own stuff. And it gets around the indestructible. So Everybody Lives is a great protection if you're actually trying to swing through and you have the Annihilator. Maybe you're about to go to your attack phase or whatever, and you're like, oh, I'm going to kill this, and that. And you're like, well, Everybody Lives. Don't worry, you can't target it, but now I'm still attacking and you still have to sacrifice stuff. So I think this is a nice 2-drop protection. Galadriel, it's nice because it's only a 4-drop to its target player. So you can target yourself for protection, or if you're wanting to swing through and kill somebody, you can do Galadriel's kicker and phase out all their creatures. So it's very nice. So I picked a lot of the big guys because they got Heroic Intervention and Teferi's Protection as well. So you need these protections in there. I don't play counter spells, so this is my way of interacting with everybody, targeting my stuff. Recursion, we already talked about Mirren, so let's get to some of the removal. We got 6 of them at this point. That's maybe I think I went a little lighter on the protection or removal because this is probably where I need to touch a little bit more. I was thinking with the Annihilator, that was kind of they're already built in removal there. So, but all is dust. Each player sacrifices all colored permanents. Aura Shards is going to be ugly. I hate when this gets played against me. So I'm for sure going to play it here because you play your creature. They're making Eldrazi Scions. You're killing multiple things, artifacts, enchantments. So it's going to be really good in this deck. Blasphemous Act. It might be the first time I play this card. It never gets in my decks. I always end up cutting it because I don't know. I just don't like it as much as everybody else does. I know it's a good removal. I just don't like board wipes as much. But when you can make them one-sided, like All Is Dust is one-sided because you're most likely not sacrificing much of yours. The reason this is one-sided is if, let's just say you're able to cast this for 1 red. If you have 5 Wooburg out there, if you can do your other 5 colors, you can give all your Scions indestructible and wipe the board and then attack through Annihilator, kill all their stuff. Like, yeah, you lose all your other creatures, your commander, but if you have enough Scion stuff out there, Scion and Spawn tokens, this is winning you the game. Everybody's stuff is dead. Now they're sacrificing. They don't have creatures to sacrifice because you just killed them all. So now they either have to sacrifice land or whatever else they have in play, other permanents. So this is actually going to be really nice in this deck. Ugin, obviously, we're doing the similar thing as All Is Dust. Here's one that I'm probably going to dump here. But Ugin's Binding, I don't have a lot of creatures that have or colorless spells that are over 7 or greater. We got one there, but you're already kind of doing stuff there, so that doesn't make sense to have it there. I don't think this one works in here. So this is actually one I'm going to cut, but it is good for your big Eldrazi deck. If I was playing the big Titans, a Titan Eldrazi's, then yes, that would be great. But I think in here it does not work. So we're light on the removal. We're going to need to figure out some other things that we can add in here. And that might not be tonight. That might be something that I do for the final part. But these are the 5 I have at this point. All right. Ramp and Rock. So I do have, let me just show you this. We have our blueprint, which is right here. Let's see if we can move this around so you can see this a little better. I don't want it to block everything, so move it over. Let's see if we can open that up a little bit more. Nope, not like that. Let's do this. There we go. Okay, so you can see the main deck there. Let's get over here. Okay, so as you can see by this, I need ramp rocks 13 to 17. Well, let me get rid of that again so we aren't just having that in the way. My ramp, I have 31, so I need to cut down my ramp rocks. But let's just look and see what we have. My thought is because your commander is giving you the X+X to all your creatures, I think it's better to have mana dorks or mana ramp dorks, ones that are getting you land. So that's what I did a lot more of. I started getting, the main staples in this. Arcane Signet's great to have in here. We already talked about that guy. Birds of Paradise you need in there. So that's a dork. I want that there. Bloom Tender is going to help because you're playing 5 color. Chromatic's going to help you fix your land. We talked about Cryptolith Rite. Deathrite Shaman, we're going to exile land cards. But see, the thing is as we're getting those experience counters up and up and up, these dorks are going to become life-threatening. You're going to be able to kill people with these when you get the X+X because they also get X+X. Decanter of Endless Water, a Delighted Halfling. This one is probably going to get the boot because it is 7. The nice thing on it is it has that part. But when you cast this spell, if it was spell, create 2 of those. I'm going to do this one to sideboard at this point because that one's just, it's a lot of mana there. Dryad of the Elysian Grove, we're going to fix our land. We already talked about that. Asika, God of the Tree. What's our flip side on that again? Reveal cards from the top of your library to reveal a creature or planeswalker. Oh, that's not bad if you decide to do the flip side of that. So that one might stay there. Fey Burrow is pretty nice. Fairhaven Elf, so that's what I was talking about. This is a mana ramp dork, if that's what you would call it. Mana ramp dork. So this one's going to search for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped. Growth Spasm, you're getting a basic land and you're getting a spawn token. Very nice. We might just have to cut some of these guys. Colorless spells you cost 1 less because everything's really cheap. So I don't know if I need the reduction as much. So let's just do sideboard right now with that guy. Herald's Horn, you're going to... Creature spells cost 1 less, but then at the beginning of your upkeep, also you have Eldrazi. So I like that much better because you're it's ramp in a way, mono reduction, but then also card draw or card advantage in a way. So I do like Herald's Horn in this because you are doing that. Ignoble Hierarch. We got Noble Hierarch. Nightshade Dryad is pretty nice. The reason why I like this is because you also get that colorless part. You have any color and colorless. So that helps you cast some of these Eldrazi you have there. Insidious Roots. So your creature tokens have tap to give you any color. Like that a lot. The Ornithopter of Paradise. You should be using this more. It's a nice 2-drop. Give you any color. I think, like we talked about before, we're just cutting this guy because we have enough ramp in here, so we don't need that one there. And I don't know if I need a Thought Vessel at this point, so we'll remove that. I do like Tower Winder just because of going to get your command tower. The only reason this one would suck is if you already have it out. So that's the only downfall of that guy. But even still, this is a reach death touch that could get bigger. So it's a nice defense right there. Ugin, your color spells are going to cost 2 less. And then it's a little bit of card advantage and remove. Oh, why doesn't that have the removal tag? Because it should. So what do we have? Card draw. I'm going to add draw into that one and removal for that. That one kind of hits all 3. And then Wood Elves allows you to go get your dual land. So you're going to get a forest. It doesn't need to be a basic. We didn't cut very much down there. We're going to probably come back to that because 27 ramp rocks are a little high. I mean, some of these are not necessarily rocks. They depend on you having other things out. So there's also that. But these are ones that I would consider. And we have Pitiless Plunderer. So when your stuff is dying, you're getting treasure to replace it. I think that works really well. We're not doing the... Like a lot of times when you see this and it's your creature sacrificing deck, you're also adding in like Blood Artist, that kind of thing. I already have a deck like that. I don't need to go that route. We want to kill people with Annihilator 1. That's what it is. We want to kill people that way. But when we sacrifice things, it's nice to gain an advantage. Not only because your Scion stuff is giving you mana that turn, but it's nice to have something that's staying for a little bit longer with those treasure tokens. All right, so now we have 36. Some of these are going to get cut. But 36 spawn Scion generator-ish stuff. Arcane Adaptation isn't really doing that. But it is, you're able to choose, your creatures are going to be of the chosen type. So we have a couple effects in this as well. But then, so when you're creating any of those Eldrazi that come into play, also you can make them Scion. So I wanted more of that in here because then every creature that you have that comes into play will get that Annihilator and the Indestructible when you're able to do your commander's main ability. So I like Arcane in here. Awakening Zone, you're just every upkeep getting that. Brood Birthing, if you control an Eldrazi spawn, create 3 at sorcery speed. We're going to do this one at sideboard at this point. Because I did run into, I was goldfishing a little bit, that I kept getting just the opposite. I was Scion or a Spawn. I didn't have the right one out. And I was like, well, this one's kind of a dead card. I mean, I guess it's 2 and you get 1 thing, but it's nice to get the 3 there. This guy's a 6-drop. You get 3 of those, which is nice. And this one's probably going to stay there. We already talked about Catacomb. This is a nice, cool one. I like this guy. So, has the Myriad. Whenever it leaves the battlefield, create an 0/1 Eldrazi spawn. So you're attacking one player. The other, you get 2 others made. They're going to leave. You're going to get 2 at that point. If you also can flicker it with your, what was the Eldrazi I was talking about earlier? I'm brain farting. Where is it? Where are you there? Where'd you go? There he goes. Displacer. If you do it with Displacer, it leaves and comes back. It's leaving the battlefield. So you will get the 0/1 spawns or 1/1 spawns from that as well. We already talked about that. This one's nice. You get an Eldrazi. But then you also get a Scion token with this for 3. That's pretty nice. For 5, you get 3 0/1s. I think that's a pretty good payoff for that. The Eyeless Watcher, you get 2 for 4. That's not bad there. From Beyond, that's perfect for this deck. Glaring Flesh Raker. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, you'll get Eldrazi. And then whenever a colorless creature enters the battlefield, deal 1 damage to each opponent. Love that. Hitting each opponent, and you're casting colorless spells all the time. So it's giving you Eldrazi Scion generation there. Let's see here. This one is exile the top 3 cards of your library. Play those cards this turn at the beginning of your next end step. If any of those remain in exile, you get a Eldrazi spawn. So it's a little bit of card advantage, but I think it's just a little too weak for this, what we want to get going on here. Idol of False Gods. You can tap 2, generate it. I like that. Whenever another Eldrazi dies, put a 1/1 counter on this. As long as it has 8 or more, that one's not going to be used that much. But it is a 0/0 in addition to its other types and Annihilator too. So when you're sacrificing stuff, this is getting bigger. It also has generation on it, and it's also an Eldrazi. So this one I like for this deck as well. Kozilek's Predator. What do we get? We get 2 of them for 4. Not bad. And you get a 3/3 off of it. Yep, 3/3. This one. All right. Kozilek's Unsealing. Whenever you cast a creature spell with 4, 5, or 6, you get 2 0/1s. And then whenever you cast a creature spell with 7. Okay, we're not going to probably do the 7 very often. But the creature spells with 4, 5, and 6, I think we will hit quite a bit. Because we've already gone through and there's been a bunch of them. So this one's probably going to stay there at the moment, because getting 2 off of casting a different spell, that's pretty good. That's pretty fantastic there. Maskwood Nexus, we're doing what the other card did from the Arcane adaptation. So you're making all your creatures Eldrazi Scion or spawns or whatever. And now when they attack, you got the Annihilator. Mirkwood Bats. If you're playing tokens, you have to have this in there, because them coming into play or sacrificing, all your opponents lose a life. So this is perfect for this deck. So I did say I wasn't going to do that. This is the whole, like, if I was going to go that angle, I would have like all 7 of them in here. But this is perfect for, you have to have these in there if you're playing tokens. Like, it's just, if you, especially sacrifice tokens, treasure tokens, Scion tokens, like these are perfect for that, because you can do this at any speed you want. You can be like, oh, play these Scion. I got 5 Scion tokens. You all lost 5 life. Now I sacrifice all 5 of them. That's, 20 or 10, 20, 30 points of damage right there, just getting your Scions out. So I like that. Path of Annihilation. You create 2 Eldrazi spawn, and then your Eldrazi have the tap ability. So we have that. I didn't add that above. Let's add it to the ramp. Tag. Nope. I want the tags, because I want to say that is also a little bit of our ramp rocks a little bit, because we're using our Scions to do that. Pawn of Ulamog, whenever another non-token creature you control dies or is put in the graveyard, you get an 0/1. So this one, I like it, but you're sacrificing I think this one's got to go, only because you're most likely the things that are going to the graveyard for the most part are your Eldrazi spawns and Scion tokens. So I think this one's got to go. Let's see, the Propagator Drone. They have Evolve, and then you can create them, so you can generate Scion stuff. Being able to have, I know 4 is a lot to create a spawn, but something that is going to be indestructible and have Annihilator, that's actually kind of nice. The more we have of these in the deck, the better. So this one probably is going to get to stay. Plus, they're getting bigger as other creatures come into play. So, because they have whenever. So yeah, it's not just what, like if you have all these spawn tokens out and you cast that, they all get 1/1 counters, and then let's say you cast that, they all get 1/1 counters. So you're getting your mana dorks, your spawns and Scion tokens, actually big threats before you even do the X+X. So I do like that card in there. This one is whenever it deals combat damage, you get that many 0/1 spawn creature tokens. It has trample, which is nice. For 6, though, is the hard part. Like, if you're not getting the X+X bump, what are we at for cuts? We got 42 to go. We got to cut. Let's get rid of that one. We already talked about that. Sifter of Skulls, whenever a non-token... Again, it's the same thing that we were doing with the other guy. So we're going to put that one to sideboard for the moment. Skittering Invasion. Getting 5 of these for 7 is actually pretty good for this, because 5 Annihilator on the board is pretty brutal. So I do like this one. This is probably one of the 7 spells that I wish was cheaper because of the things I got rid of. But with your spawn tokens, I would gladly sacrifice. In fact, when I was kind of goldfishing, I came across this. I had 4 Scion tokens out. I sacrificed them, and I was able to cast this for 3. But then I got 5, and my experience counters went up 4. You know, so it's like, it's a win-win for this. It's easy to get that out there. Spawn Gang Commander. Whenever you cast a spell, create 3. So that's a really good payoff for 5. And then you can sacrifice an Eldrazi to do 2 damage to any target. So I guess we could add that as a little bit of a removal. Kind of. Spot removal. We'll add it to there. I like it. Let's see what else we got. We got Spawn Bed Protector. Beginning of your end step, return up to 1 target Eldrazi from your graveyard, then or from your graveyard to your hand. Create 2. So this one we're getting generation. I like it in this. Very good. Talked about that one. Talked about that one. Didn't we? Whenever you cast a spell, you may pay. Oh, no, we didn't. Create a 1/1 Eldrazi for how much? Colorless. So when you cast a spell, you may pay. So you can at most get 2 for this. It has flash. We're keeping it there for now, because you could sacrifice 2 Eldrazi Scion, get your experience out, get 2 more to replace them, and you have a 3/3 flash blocker, kind of a removal spell, kind of, if they're attacking. Whenever you cast this spell, create 2. So for 4, you get 2. It has reach, and then whenever you sacrifice another Eldrazi, you get a 1/1 counter. It's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad there. All right, then we got our lands. Is that it? Oh, wow. We already went through it. How fast? 40. That's what I said. About 30, 35, 40 minutes. We only cut 12 cards. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Here we go. Now we got to cut more. All right. So that is the deck in a nutshell. If you want to see the lands, I do have everything tagged. Not tagged. The deck list is below in the comment section, or in the description, I should say. Some of the stuff, you got the Eldrazi's Temple. I did not put the new really expensive thing, because we're not really utilizing the 7 from it. You know, putting a card exiled underneath. You're not going to have a lot of those, so you're probably not going to hit that much. So that's not in the deck. I do have Gaia's Cradle, because you are getting those Scion tokens. That is going to help there. Cavern of Souls is really nice. I've been using this less and less. Use it in tribal decks. But this also has that giving you a colorless. I needed some more generation. The pre-con deck came with all 10 of the tap for a colorless or do 1 damage to you for a color. I like that idea, but I'd much rather have fetchable duels, and I have other ways of doing that. So we got these giving you colorless. You have your Scions giving you colorless. It's kind of, I thought, Plaza of a Hero gives you a colorless. The Secluded Courtyard does it as well, plus the tribal part. The World Tree helps you with the mana fixing of all your stuff. Tomb of the Spirit Dragon, I like that for gaining a life for each colorless creature. So each turn you could be gaining a crap ton of life there. And then we got our Urza Saga, Urborg, Yavimaya, and then 5 fetches is what I have in the deck. I did all 4 of the green fetches, and then 1, I believe it was the blue-black. Did I do blue-black? Oh, yeah, Polluted Delta. Yep, there it is. So those are my lands for this. All right, so now we got to cut 40 cards somehow. Oh, what are we at? Okay, so the idea here, let's look at what I'm supposed to be at. Blueprint. Let's kind of check this out here. So the main idea is the Spawn Eldrazi. I think we can kind of get some of these guys out of here. Ramp Rocks. Where's an easy one to hit? So a 12 to 18 for draw. What do we have for draw? We got 18, so we're on the top end of that. Maybe I'm fine with the draw. Or I was saying before, I might need draw. I don't know if I necessarily need it. Sire of Stagnation might have to go. That might be one. You know, I'm going to move the blueprint down here so it's not so much in my periffs. Let's get it by in front of the Commander Smith store. And let me just change this so you guys can see that a little bit better, what it is. Oh, the bottom's cut out. All right, pet cards. 0 to 5 pet cards. That's what was cut out there. I want to see how many I'm cutting, so we're going to have that in front of the subscribe stuff. There we go. All right. Yes. Right there. Okay. We're set. All right, let's get to cutting. All right, so we want our draws, fine, but I think we want to get rid of... I don't want to get rid of Sire. I don't want to do it. I think Endbringer I wanted to get rid of. That's a 6 drop for that, so we're going to remove you. These guys are all solid. I like the gaining a life and drawing a card. Mystic Forge seems pretty good in this. Realm Walker is also an Eldrazi. What do we have? 58 creatures at this point. Skull Clamp. I mean, it makes sense because you're using Eldrazi and it helps you draw more. I think I'm going to keep that there. Sire just kind of depends on too much of other people. I'm going to do sideboard for now. Wah. I don't want it to, but I kind of have to. Unfathomable Truths for 5. Replace. Yeah. The thing is you're wanting to you need to sacrifice. You don't want to. The idea is you don't want all those Scion and Spawn tokens to just keep getting bigger and then you swing in one and Annihilator somebody to hell. This is more, you're wanting to use those in the early game to cast your other spells to get you more. So this is a perfect way to, well, it only replenishes 1. It does draw you 3 cards, which is nice. What do we said draw is 12 to 18 and now we're down to 16. Let's keep it there for right now. Cast creature spells. Rumor Gatherer. I like it. It's just not fitting with the theme as much. Like it's not. I'm gonna go sideboard. Ugh. I'm waiting on that. I almost think Realm Walker is more of one that I should go, even though it's an Eldrazi side. It's another spawn. Cut more lands. Actually, I do need to cut lands. I did have a higher number of lands. I want to go down to 36, if not 35 potentially, because there's so much in this deck. So yeah, that is actually a good point. And I know you were joking partially, but I do need to cut a couple of these. I'm going to get rid of the spawning bed. That just seems like so much. You're losing a land and you're you're paying basically 7 to get 3. No, we don't need that. So let's get that one out of there. I think in this case, is Saga going to have to get cut because of how many 1-drop artifacts do I have? Or colorless. Is it colorless? I think it's colorless spells. 1 or 0. Search the library for it's an artifact. Yeah. So artifacts. We don't have a lot. It's 13. You're not seeing it on your guys' end, but I'm just looking. 13 total. Let's see. I know we have our Soul Ring. We have our Sensei's Top. If there's not another one that I like. Yeah, we don't have enough. I prefer when I use my Saga, which I'm going to get a lot of crap for because I'm cutting Saga, but I have Yavimaya, but I'm playing a 5 color. So I do want Yavimaya and Urborg to help me with some color fixing there. This isn't going to work as well as I'd like because I'm only going for Soul Ring or Top. And I'd like to have like Shadow Spear or Monocrypt or it's something like that. More in there. I like 3 targets at least. So I think we're going to get rid of Saga there. And what does that get us down to? 36 lands. I think 36 I'm going to stay with at this point because we're dealing with 5. I could see going down to 5 though or 35 because the Scion tokens are going to help us with that a lot. So Blasphemy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll do Lowry's button because we got it out of there.
Get the fuck out.
So as you can see, Urz is for life. I'm sorry. I failed you guys. But we had to cut something. All right, so our draw is at 16. We're sitting pretty. 12 to 18. I think I want to be on the higher end of that. Whenever a creature, yeah, I want more of that. So I know there's more draw stuff with like not Chatterfang, but is it Chatterfang? Whatever one it is, the squirrel one that whenever your creatures deal combat damage. I think it's which squirrel general is it? There's Chatterfang and whatever his name. Toski's the name. There we go. That deserves a thumbs up. I'm sorry, Renshai. So you could put in a creature heavy deck, you put Toski in, but we have enough other draw going on here. So let's move on to, we want to keep all of these guys. Let's check out our Eldrazi. We have 14 of them. We may just hit, yep, we're going to get rid of this guy whenever you eat target opponent. Yep, we're getting rid of that. It's an easy get rid of. I do like that as having a secondary thing there. Annihilator 2, gain life for each colorless permanent you control. Hexproof from each color. We're already gaining life from other things. We don't need that there. I do like Echoes that. Beginning of combat on your turn, target creature gets X+O. And gains haste. But does not... If this gains... I mean, this is trample, but... Ooh, I don't know if I want that one in there either. I think we're more focused on our scions and everything. I'll do that one to sideboard. It might come back later. We're generating stuff there. I like that. We're getting our experience counters there. Oh, yeah, no problem, buddy. Thanks for jumping on. I hear you on that. 4:30 is way too early. You should already be in bed, buddy. Thank you for jumping on for a little bit there. I think everybody else will just kind of sit here. I like the... did I not have that in the draw? How is this not in the draw section? Oh, it is. Okay, I just missed it. Okay, and then... Ulek. Cast a spell, you may pay 2. If you do copy all spells you control, then copy all other activated and triggered abilities you control. All right, so I think that's good for now for the Eldrazi. This one I could see potentially cutting but it has some of that removal, and we don't have a lot of removal, so I kind of want to keep that. Multipliers, let's see here. I think we have too many multipliers. There's a lot here. So what are some of the ones we want to kind of get rid of? Like the 4-drops. Sacrifice 2 other artifacts and or creatures. Put an indestructible counter. I like that. That's a way to sacrifice your scion stuff. I feel like these need to stay, especially that's a creature, and that's a... I always thought that was a creature. I didn't realize that was just an enchantment. Okay. I totally thought that was a creature this whole time. Creature, creature, creature. So we get a benefit from that. Anointed. Maybe we get rid of doubling. Panharmonicon, whenever entering the battlefield, causes a triggered ability. So maybe we do get... I want more tokens, so this is why that's in there. But it does not give you more exiting, multiplying triggers. I could do death triggers with Teysa. Let's check out Teysa really quick. Teysa is... Which one is it? I think it's Karlov. Okay. Let's see what we got. What is Teysa's? Teysa. I know I'm adding cards when I should be getting rid of cards. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control, the trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Ooh. I think we have to. This has to be in there. Multiplier. Yep, I think Teysa has to be in here. So, that being said, we're going to kind of jump on our themes stuff here. We might because of the token stuff here, we might get rid of the ones that aren't creatures. Besides echoes. I might get rid of Anointed, Doubling, Parallel, and Pan. Oh, no, I'm going to keep Pan. Crap. 34 cards to cut. 6 is a lot, but it's making triple. If it dies, return to the battlefield under tapped under transform. What's the transform part? Okay, so it turns into a land, and then if you attack with 3 or more. Man, I don't know. I just added another card, but I think we do need to have her there. All right, well, let's keep moving on. We'll come back. I like to go through the list again. I like my protection stuff here. I think everything here is pretty nice. Recursions built in with that. Let's see. Our removal, we popped it up to 7 at this point. So we have our enchantment and artifact removal. Enchantment and artifact removal, enchantment and artifact, everything removal. Target creature. So 3, 4, 5 creature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creature or enchantment and everything. No, there's no budget. I have all these cards again. All the cards that are here pretty much I do own. And then it's just proxies for that. So there's no budget. I could go pretty much anything. So if you have suggestions of things that I'm missing there, this is where we got to get stuff down. Dorks and Ramp Rocks. So 13 to 17, we are 11 over the max of what I want to have. So let's start cutting stuff. Decanter, we're going to probably get rid of. I like to have that in there, but we're trying to use our creature token or creature dorks. Mana dorks, mana ramp dorks, and that. So I think we're going to get rid of Decanter there. Let's try to hit our rocks up. Herald's Hornet adds a little bit of draw. Soul Ring, we got to kind of keep in there for that one. I'm going to get rid of Arcane Signet. I do like that it's any color, but Chromatic's going to help get you that Wooburg across because it's changing your lands. I like that there. Birds, we want those. We want your creatures, any of those that deal with that. Deathrite, I might get rid of. It's a 1-drop though. I do like that. Sika is going to help with our creatures also tapping for mana. I like that a lot. Fairhaven. We need to cut these down here. Okay, having our tokens deal stuff. That's a positive. I don't want to cut Soul Ring. I don't want to do it. And you're sacrificing your stuff there. Man. I like the ramp. Ramp creatures. Mana dorks. I think Deathrite's going to go. Get Deathrite out of there. I like that there. Chromatic has to stay because it's the 5 color. We need to hit that as much as possible. Lands are every basic land type. We need that as much. So how many of those do we have going on? 1, 2. Well, kind of like 3 because the roots there. Leave your graveyard, create an 0/1 plant creature. You're never going to get the. I have 1 card that does recursion back, so that's never going to really take effect there. Pitiless Plunderer, kind of. I'm tempted to go for that one. Ugh. What is my mana curve with everything here? Let's see. Oh, you can see I did have the power plants and mines and all that stuff, but it's just in a commander deck, it's too hard to get these all out at the same time. Sure, you can tutor for them and get that, but it's just tough. All right. So, with land 2.62. We have a lot between, so 7 at 1 drops, 11 at 2, 24, 21, and then we got a lot at the 6 value, but that's some of those Eldrazi there. Yeah, you can see also I did have the talismans. I guess I should mention that for the sideboard. I did have all the talismans because it gave yeah, I mentioned that earlier. The talismans are what was in the deck. So the deck comes with all those talismans because then you can use the colorless side of that as well. We need to cut some of this ramp because there's just too much of it. I'm almost thinking Plunderer isn't going to help me unless I'm sacrificing, which it is going to happen. So we're going to do sideboard with Plunderer. What's the flip side of this again? Oh, you get to, for sure, go get a creature if you need it. I like that. Fabro is going to help you not just give you one. It could get, it's giving you at least 2. And it gets 1+1 for each. All right, we're down to 24. What do we need to get down to? 17. Herald's Horn, that's where I kind of take pause on. But it's ramp and draw in a way, so I don't want to hit that one. Maybe the Tower Winder, because it does have a potential to not hit what you want to get, but I do like the 2-drop going to get a command tower. All right, I got to take a break from that. So let's move on to our spawn and tokens. So this is the main idea, 15 to 25. So we're a little high on this end, although we do have some things that are not necessarily making spawn tokens, but it turns your stuff into those. So I that's why those are in that spot. So is there anything that was standing out that I wanted to get rid of here? I think this one I kind of hesitated on. So I think we're going to do that one done. Sideboard there. Only 29 more cuts. Create 2 of those. And then it gets bigger. Cast a spell. You may, I think this one just has too many hoops to jump through if you don't have the colorless. Like if you're just casting the 3, then you don't get anything. 7 there. The 4, 5, or 6. What did we have that again? 4, 5, or 6. So we have 20, 7, 35. Let me read it again, though. Nope, that's not the right one. Where is he? Where did he go? There it is. Whenever you cast a creature spell with 4, 5, or 6, it has to be creature specific. I mean, we have a lot, right? Not in the dorks. We have 0 in there. Removal. We got 1 there. Yep, 1. I think there's enough for that to be beneficial. Because you are getting 2 for every one that you cast. So I think I do want to keep that in there. What do we have for time here? 1 hour and 4 minutes at this point. This one I always get to cutting because it's 6, but you do get 3, which is really nice. We do need to keep getting some of those generation stuff. Enters, generates that, generates that. Love the modes. Puts 3 for 5. Draw your second card. We're going to be drawing cards. You get to get Eldrazi, so I do like that. 2, yes. Yes, yes. The Idol. For 2, you create 1. Yeah, that has to stay for the most part. Maybe Skittering is one that we have to get rid of. I mean, 7 is a lot. But you get 5. I like, oh, this is recursion. Beginning of your return up to one Eldrazi creature token from your graveyard to your hand. Create 2 Eldrazi. Okay. So maybe I'm not getting rid of that one. It's just, it says more recursion than I thought. I have 2 recursion spells. I just doubled it. Look at me. Lowry, you'd be proud. I have 2 recursion spells in here. Lowry's the king of recursion. There wasn't as much spawn and stuff I wanted to cut. The main, we're closer to the main idea because we have the 25 there. There isn't much I want to cut in these. Let's do one little quick break with this, and let's just do a little play test really quick. Oh, it's gonna be on the weird screen here. So let's go until we get 3 lands here. Restart. 1, 2. That's what our 8. Oh, there we go. We got 3. Okay, so if we have 3 here, what do we got? How's that hand sit? So we're sitting nice with the 3. We got that guy. So we throw out probably a wooded and go get a land. I don't like it on my small screen because then I can't do this as well. Get another land out. I'm not going to fetch right now. We're just kind of pretending. We went and got... We probably throw out Cryptolith Right. You know, I just real. Oh, now the other one I could have in here was the one where you can tap creatures to untap your forest, I believe, or basic land. I have 10 basic lands and 10 basic lands in here, so that is why I did not put that one in here. And we have a whoops, get that back in its spot. I'm in the wrong screen. All right, so then we get 3 there. We can't do a colorless one, but we can do this guy. We could do that. Oh, we couldn't do that. We could do that. We want to get creatures out. So probably get my Scion. Whenever you cast this, what is it? You get what? 1? Oh, you create 1 of those. I probably actually would go... yeah, no, we would get another token. So actually we can use those to tap for more next turn. So we get to turn 4. And we have a Skull Clamp there. So now we're able to tap 1. There's another token there. I just use that as my token to generate. So now I have 5 there. And now you're just kind of, you're starting to roll at that point. You can start getting things out. I wouldn't play Azlask until you get a few things out. But when you're starting to sacrifice is when I would definitely start using it. I don't want to goldfish too much right now at this point. I want to hit more cards off of here. We got 28 cards still to cut. So we're going to back off of that. I normally do it when I get a little bit closer. I think we're good on our draw. Yeah, we're in the range of our draw. So I don't think there's anything I want to cut in here necessarily. At this point, I don't think there's anything I want to cut in here. It might be the multipliers that I got to get rid of. We don't need quite so many multipliers. Because honestly, you get doubling season out, you start getting very scary looking. So I may, to fit into theme wise, because if we get rid of these, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be a death trigger multiplier. So 5, 6. We still have 7 multipliers. So let's just do this. We're going to do sideboard for now. I know they're really good, but we have things and we have ideas of having our creatures that are multipliers gain the advantage. So everything besides sideboard, everything now besides the Eldrazi enchantment are creatures. So our multipliers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then a death multiplier. Plus our tokens are gaining vigilance and lifelink. So that's going to help us as well. So this is a huge card. I can't believe I forgot about putting this in there. I mean, I have a taste of deck. So this, it's like, what? Why wasn't this in here? All right. So we dropped down to 24. That's pretty good. We got our protection. I think we're in the good spot for protection. We're on the low end of what I want to be. Yeah, 8 to 12. And we have 8. But you have built-in protection a little bit on your commander. So I'm fine with that being there. Recursion, we're fine there. Removal, we are light on, right? Removals. We're at the very bottom, 7 to 15. So we're not touching anything with a removal. It's our ramp still we got to mess with. We still need to cut about 7 cards. And that would get us into the teens. Then we're looking at what? Probably getting the main idea card. Some of these down a little bit. Maybe 4 more of those. So that gets us, what, 7? That's 11. We're down to 13 cards left. 13. And then maybe, is there any other Eldrazi that stand out? Multiplier there. Mirror Entity's that's gonna help you. Oh, the Angelic Aberration. I mean, then you're losing the Annihilator part, but you are gaining the X+X, which I do like. I don't know. Well, let's hit the one things we do need. We know we need to get less of. So we said ramp, rocks, and dorks. We need to get down a little bit. We need to get down 7 more. So we like things that have multiple uses. So that one's not going anywhere. That one's not going anywhere. That one's not going anywhere. Bloom Tender for 2, not going anywhere. Chromatic, Cryptolith, nope. Delighted. Dryad. You can play additional lands. I like that. Elven, you're playing off the top of your library. I like that. This might be one of the things we get. Other legendary creatures. You do have quite a few of them. But we are using a lot of things that are... Now those are tokens, but your Cryptolith, right. Maybe it's my ramp instead of dork. Oh, I do want a mix of ramp in there. See, this is why I hate this. Because I don't want to cut anything. Can we change this to a 124 card deck? Because that would be really nice. Let's get rid of this for now. We're going to do sideboard on some of these cuts because I do like them a lot. Herald's Horns has the multiple of being able to play if it's a creature card of the chosen type. Yeah, we want that. Or not play. You're getting an extra draw. Excuse me. Their tokens are tapping. Yep. To be honest with you, I do have some decks that I don't have Soul Ring in because I had just enough ramp and rock and all, or ramp rocks for the other stuff. I don't think I can get rid of Ugin because I need it for removal. You know, I need these kind of in there because we're playing a lot of colorless stuff. What is the colorless we have here? I want to see the color pie. All right, 21% is white. Our most now is actually green. Interesting. It used to be like a lot more with the symbol. Well, I guess there's more, but that's with how many symbols. 10% of all colors. So 26% is all colors. 43 green. 21, 11, 11, and 8. What were we on? We are on the ramp rocks. This is actually, Jeff, this is so much easier of how I used to build decks. So I used to write everything down. So what I would do is I kind of how the video started where I had 100 and whatever cards in there. Well, add that with all the stuff that I already had in the sideboard. So think of that. I would get a piece of paper and just write. And I'd write and I'd write. I'd be like, okay, this card, this card, this card. And I'd start organizing it. Like I'd put them in like categories like I've done here. You know, where it's like the ramp rocks and then like the main idea, blah, blah, blah. And then what I would do is go through each of them. And for the most part, I remember, oh, really? That's a 106 to 107 max. So I would remember most of the cards, but some of them I wouldn't. So I'd have to go back and like pull up my phone or pull up the computer and be like, oh, that's what that card is. And I'd go through the whole list and then I'd scratch off. I'd cut like 3 or 4 cards every time I go through it. So I'm not kidding when I say this. It used to take me probably weeks to build a deck. Like that was my process. And then I started, when we had to do this stuff live, basically is what it is. When we started recording these live, like we used to just do the deck tech at the end when the deck was done. But we want to show how the process is, like, and also using your guys' help. Like if somebody's just like, oh, I haven't had luck with that one, or hey, this one, I think you should add this card. That is very helpful as well. But since I changed to this, I generally get this done in a 10th of the time, because I can get it done in pretty much a night or two. It's never more than 2. There's tweaks and stuff that come in later. But yeah, this is the way it's so much better for me. And I know Lowry's way, that's why we kind of show both ways. Lowry has the physical cards in his hands and he's going through them, piling them up, and all that. And very much, I proxy a lot of the stuff because I own a lot of it. And then they're all in decks. Like I have Sensei's top in almost every deck. I don't want to have 40 Sensei's tops. So, we proxy the ones that are over $5. And so I don't want to proxy something if I'm going to cut it. So I like to have my final deck before I get to that point. So anyways, that's kind of the process. This is so much easier than I used to do with stuff here. And it's nice to kind of have it grouped and be able to see it right away. Because where I'm at right now of cutting, what did I start with? 152, 153. Let's say we cut 30 cards already. This is already like 2 or 3 days worth of the old way of me doing it from before. Anyways, okay. We do want to keep creature stuff that's out there. Maybe we are just kind of cutting this because it isn't a creature. We have other things that are... No, I want the tapping the creature part. Nope. We got to keep that. Maybe it's but that's a creature. So indecisive. Let's get rid of Tower Winder. I keep wanting to put it in a deck, and it's never going to make it in a deck. Ornithopter taps. That taps. I like it. These guys are 1-drops. I like it. Dryad. I might... See, I like Dryad over Chromatic in that I can play an additional land, and it's getting that creature bump bonus. So if I was going to cut anything, it would be Chromatic of the 2. Maybe I'm getting rid of some of the ramp dorks. Maybe that's the angle I use instead. The decks you love the most were the ones that... Close one on the first try. Landed at 101 the first draft. Nice. Yeah, no. If I could... The problem is that I have so many like ideas of where I want the deck to go. And I'm like, this. And a lot of times I'm building and then an idea spawns as I'm building. I'm like, I actually like this angle better. So kind of my process is gather as much of the initial idea as possible. And in that gathering, I may find a different angle that I like to go. Like, for example, the experience stuff was not something I was thinking about when I was doing this. The experience guys, where are they? So these guys, I wish there were more of them. But this was never like even on my radar. I mean, it was. I was like, there's other experienced commanders, but I didn't think to use them with the deck. And then as I got like gathering cards, I'm like, these work really well with this deck because they're getting a huge advantage from the experience. These are great commanders by themselves. Boom. I wish I had more. I want more experienced commander stuff. So as they come out, I will do that. My initial thought was the Eldrazi Scion tokens, all that stuff, getting as many of those as I can, sacrificing some of them, using them to cast other big Eldrazi, and boom, that's how you win. I like the experience counter idea better, and so I have a mix of the two, kind of. So why do you have 2 cards for recursion that's half-assed attempt to splash? No, it's just... yeah, I know. I don't typically do a lot of recursion. And so this is part of the gathering part. So you're getting the whole process now. When I'm gathering stuff, these tags that I have here, recursion, protection, multiplier, this is as I'm gathering the cards. I'm like, okay, this is a card that I would put in this category, in this category. Recursion is something that we have on the card below. You can see 0 to 5 recursion. 0. Let me get my mouse so you can see it. Oh no, I forgot that you won't be able to see my mouse there. 0 to 5 recursion, 0 to 5 pet cards, 0 to 10 side themes, which that's what I would consider the experience counterpart. 7 to 15 removal, 8 to 12 protection. We did a whole episode on this, like kind of breaking down. This isn't like set in stone of you're going to have a perfect deck, but this is a good guideline. That's why it's called the blueprint. And then 12 to 18 draw, 13 to 17 ramp, then your main idea. So that's kind of the idea there. You can see on the side there too, what do I have? 5 to 7 fetches. In this one I have 5. 4 to 8 fetchable lands. In this I have 10 because I got all the dual lands in there. Oh, good for me. I guess I should hit that button.
Oh, good for you.
So that's kind of, and then basics 12. I think we normally have like 10 to 12. This one's a 10 basic land deck. So that's just kind of how this all works out. So recursion, I am always very light on recursion. Lowry does a very good job of recursion. And so I just had it as one of my categories, and Marin fit in there. And then the spawn bed, as we were just doing this, I realized, oh, that is kind of recursion. So let's add that to the category, because this also hits the generating the spawns and stuff. So anyways, okay. So long explanation longer. Eldrazi, where was I at? I think I was at the dorks still. Yes, we were over here. We're down to 22. And again, tonight I'm probably not going to finish the deck, but there will be a final deck tech, potentially of the deck, or even the goldfishing of it, kind of seeing how it all runs. Ugin, I need it for, I might get rid of the ramp dorks. So let's get that to sideboard for now. Fairhaven, I like this one because it's 4, so I can go get a duel. So we'll keep that one in. What are we at now? 21. And we are still 4 over that. Let me get away from this for a sec. And let's see how many spawns. So the main idea, we're 4 over what we should be. Brood Monitor is one that I keep going to because it's a 6-drop. And it's only a 3/3. This is a 5-drop, and you get 3 of those. So I like that better. Just trying to decide if we have enough. And this one isn't generating tokens, so I wouldn't consider that in this category, but it's dealing with the tokens. So that's kind of why I put it in there. I think we're going to get rid of this. I mean, it's a lot. It's 7 to get that out, to get 5, which is good. It's just, that's a lot. Let's get rid of the Brood Monitor for right now. It's a sideboard. These are ones that I might pop back in when I'm getting rid of other things. This comes up with 2. I do like that you can sacrifice your scions to tap creatures, so that is kind of nice. I'll keep that one in there. The picture makes it seem like this dude should have flying, but it does not have flying. It's just that big that its tentacles are all on the ground. All right, we're in our teens. We made it to the teens. I'm going to run out of my drink here. Nest Investor. Yeah, no, I get that. But yeah, for generating, well, it's the same. You got, you have Awakening Zone and the From Beyond. You just need something that's going to continuously make them. You don't have, I mean, you do have a lot. There is a lot of token generation, but it's nice to cast something and just have it out, and it's continuously making it. So that's what Black Market Connection is going to help me there. Although it's not going to give me mana from that, but it is going to give me treasures if I want, and drawing cards. So I love Black Market Connections. Dude, pick these up as much as you can because they are cheap now, because them being printed in Assassin's Creed and one other Commander deck recently. Okay, so we got, this one is the one I keep going back to. The 2 tokens is really nice. You're not going to get the 7 or greater and draw 3 cards. So is it worth having that in there? Because I don't really have that many. Is it just, I don't really have that many that are in there. Maybe cast a creature spell with 7 or greater mana. And there was what now, like 2 at the most? creature ones? There's one. So its bottom part, it's not going to do much. Because that's 6. That's 6. 6. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be... I guess Null Drifter if I actually cast it. Yeah. Pirate Precon. Yeah, it's been in, what, 2 Precons at this point? I think? 2 printings? Well, let's see. So we got the Assassin's Creed, then Ixalan, yep, there's that, and then the original Baldur's Gate, yeah. So yeah. So it's gotten 3 total printings, and now this guy, which I like this version actually the best. $8. That's not bad right there. And like I said, this one, the full art or extended art with that one. Get those because they were going for 30, man. I sold some for 30. It's a great card, and I put it every black deck. Pretty much it goes in my every single black deck I build. I think we're good on the multipliers. I think we the protection, that's how we have. We don't have counters. We don't do that, so that might be there. Our removal's good. Or we keep going back to the dorks again. I keep going back to Dryad. But we need that color fixing a little bit. And Soul Ring. I know that I've done it before. I've cut Soul Ring before. Just because you get enough ramp going on with stuff here. And sometimes it's best to just like take a step back. I think we're going to do this for right now. I'm going to sideboard that guy. Hour 30 at this point. So I mentioned that kind of earlier. Earthcraft. I do have Earthcraft already. It's the untapping basic lands. I am almost sure on that one. And I don't have enough basic lands that I feel comfortable with this one. So there's 10 total basic lands in here. That's nice, but the thing is like if it was tapping to give you any color, love it. Love it. But this is untapping a basic land. If it untapped any land, love it. But we need the multicolor stuff. So yes, I mentioned that earlier when I got to that part, when I was talking about the other ones. I need to get the color generation to get my Wooburg. I need that 5 color. But thank you. Yeah, that is a good ad. That's why I kind of mentioned it earlier. Being able to untap your basic lands. But I'm worried that I only get 1 to 2 basic lands out, and then those are the only 2 I'm untapping. And I'm like, well, damn it, I need different colors. Give me other colors. But I agree, it is a very good card, and maybe it might still sneak back in here if all I'm needing is more and more mana production, and the color doesn't matter. Then that makes more sense. How many mana fixing things do we have here? Let me just count that. Not that that's going to make a big difference. There's 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just looking for my multi, like either you're tapping your creatures or your lands. I think we only have 6 is good. That's a good number for this. 6. I think that's about it. So 6 of them. That's not bad. Your chances of hitting one of those in a game is pretty good for having 6 in there. Of being able to either tap your creatures or all your lands or any color. I can live with that. So, Bloom Tender, it's got to stay in there. Right? I mean, Favorable Elder, same thing. These are potentially Favorable is definitely, that's a 2 drop. That's a 2 rock or 2 mana dork that taps for at least 2. Your commander is not gonna benefit you with these because it is it is colorless, so it's not going to help. But do I have enough other color that's going to do it? So I think at average, you're going to get 2 to 3 off of that. Is that enough to keep them in? Maybe. Yeah. I'm probably going to keep that in there then. 18 cards. I think if I can get down to like 115 to 110, call it a night, and then I'll get the last cuts and kind of do a final deck tech later, so we can kind of just go through what the deck is and kind of show you some goldfish stuff. So let's see if you can help me, guys. Cut 3 to 5 or 3 to 8 more cards. We can call it a night. What time we got? Oh gosh, it's 11 o'clock. Damn it. All right. Let's at least get 3 here. So I hate doing it. I do this. I've been doing this a lot more lately, but I think I might put my senseis on a sideboard at this point. Feels dirty. It's very dirty. I love senseis. I put it in every single there. I've been taking it out less or more and more. Not because it's annoying or anything like that. It's just a good card. It just end up cutting. And that one might slip its way back in because senseis needs to be in almost every deck. How do we feel about all the multipliers we have here? I think they're good. I think we have a good amount. A good mix of them. This is paying the 2 and then the copies. Yeah, at that point. Do we have enough color? Yeah, because you have your Eldrazi Scions that are going to do that. I got enough protection going on there. Removal's good. I'm almost thinking of Tender and Fabro. Sideboard. We're doing it. Sideboard. Sideboard. What did we get down to? 19. I'm pretty good where I like where that's at. Because everything else is giving me ramp, color, colorless. I can utilize everything there. This is your Eldrazi are tapping. Yes, these are. Oh, there's another one. There's 7. There's 7 of my rocks that are doing stuff. Or my creatures are doing stuff. So there we go. We got 7 different things there. You're never going to gain 4 life. It's not going to happen. Yeah, so I like that one there. Okay. So I think we're good there. Let's check our main idea. We're really close to where we want to be on our main idea. I don't think there's really maybe one more cut. It's kind of protection built in on a stick there. What's our higher casting cost? I like the removal built in on that. Whenever you cast a spell, create 2 of them. Maybe this one. Maybe the evolve part is just tapping 4 to create 1 is kind of a lot. Yeah. All right, down to 14. Hey, we're already past my goal of what I wanted to get to here. Let's get 4 more cuts. Let's even get 4 more out of here. Cut land. I could cut 1 land. As I said, I want to be at 35. But it is a 5-color deck, so you got to be very careful on that. Being nice or good with your mana. Especially we're heavy on green. Removal's fine. And sometimes you need a break of doing this for an hour and a half. You just need... Looks like you probably need 4 to 7 too many main idea cards. So the main idea... Where are we? It'll be these guys. So we're right at that top end of the main idea. So if we could cut some guys in here... 6 for getting 2. 5 for getting 3. Maybe that is one there. I just need as many of those Scion tokens as I can get. So I'm a little weary about cutting them. That one's nice for token generation there. Your dies. I like the scrying because you're going to be sacking. Love that. Love that. Okay. There isn't anything that's standing out to me that I'd like to cut here at this point with those guys. Because I don't want to get that light. Because that is our main... That's what we're doing. That's what this deck is doing. We're still a little higher on the rocks and dorks, but some of these I wouldn't consider necessarily... I mean, I guess this one's kind of a rock or dork, but you're wanting those tokens to give you mana there. 2. And we have a couple things that aren't... Like, no, that's a 6-drop dork. You're not dork, but it's just color reduction. But yeah, so I wouldn't consider that as one of those. It would really be like 18. And is there another one that I wouldn't consider? Maybe that one. So we're down to 17, which then we're kind of in the right range for where we want to be. Maybe even that guy. Multiplier. This was my Eldrazi. Let's look at our Eldrazi again. I like that as a backup. That's our draw. We're drawing cards. Maybe Mirror Entity needs to go. But it'd be nice to have that as... Both of these are nice backup cards. Right? This shouldn't even be in this spot because this is more of a spawn token one. It's just in too many spots. You think Maskwood is cuttable? I don't... If anything, Maskwood... I would want to keep... If I was cutting one, I would think it would be Arcane. Because it does the same thing. But Maskwood, you're able to give yourself more Eldrazi Scion and spawn tokens. So, and it's colorless, so you're not focused on the blue part of that. So I think if anything, this would be the one. But man, if you can turn these... That's the part why I like those two in there. I feel those haven't been on my radar. I guess the idol might... Oh, it's generating another one, though. I was like, the idol could go, but for 2 and tapping and giving yourself one, that's pretty easy. Like, I like that one. But being able to turn your... Like, all your this guy, Eldrazi, this guy, like, any of your Eldrazi that aren't Scion and spawn tokens... They will also gain the Indestructible and the Annihilator. So that's why I thought that those are actually pretty nice. But not to go overboard. I didn't want to get like Conspiracy in there and all the other ones that change it, you know. You cut Cathar's Crusade. It creates headaches for everything. Yeah. No, yeah. Cathar's Crusade would be good, but yeah, they don't want Cathar's. Oh, Cathar's Crusade would be just a headache in this deck, especially with the tokens. But so my thought is... The beginning part of this game is you're casting your Eldrazi to give you more Scion, right? And you want that experience counters to go up. But those Eldrazi really don't do anything after that. You get your Eldrazi out. Let's just use whatever. Who's going to generate something here? Let's say this. Well, that one does something later. Let's go back down. Let me get my spawn stuff so I can kind of explain what I'm talking about. So let's say we get this. Well, he does stuff later too. That's what's the nice thing. You want to play stuff. This one is a good example. He comes out, enters battlefield. You get a Eldrazi, right? Then after that, it doesn't really do anything. It's a flyer. It's gonna get X+X when you do the main ability, but that's it. So it's nice. Evasion, boom, doing a lot of damage. But how nice would it be if this is also a spawn or a Scion token? Now it's indestructible, and it gains the Annihilator. So that's kind of the nice thing with this is. With these two cards is you're giving creatures that wouldn't normally you're playing them. They don't do anything like this guy as well. They don't do anything after they're out. They're just kind of sitting there, you know, getting the X+X, which is really nice. But they don't really do anything after that. They're more chump blockers or big attackers later in the game. Let's make it so that Annihilator can hit multiple things, so we can hit multiple players with stuff. Piss lots of people off. That's the key of the game. Annihilator is what it does is it pisses people off. Masquerade creates so many more triggers than you ever expected to. I have it in super OP and it's just I hate life because everything. I hear you. I track everything. Yeah, no, I hear you. I got you on that. So I'll keep that in mind. I think for right now, I'm keeping them right there. Because I'm gonna goldfish this, but I don't want to goldfish with you guys on right now. I want to get this down a little further. I want to see how it runs. Maybe I'm not getting these guys out as much as I'm thinking I'm getting, the guys that really don't do anything. And then at that point, then it's like, well, then you don't really need Masquerade and you don't need Arcane Adaptation because it's like you're really only getting 1-2 bumps to your Annihilator. Is that enough for you to take up 2 card slots? Probably not. I would say the Masquerade I do like is that I get to generate more tokens, but they aren't the Scion tokens that I can sacrifice for mana, which kind of sucks. But that's where we're at with that. So I think at this 113, I like even numbers though. I would like to get 3 down. Can we get 3 down? It'd be easy just be like, all right, let's cut those. Color spells though. Mystic Forge might not be as where I want it. Because what do we need for draw? 12 to 18. Here's my reasoning is it's colorless spells. So it depends on how many colorless spells. It now looks like we have more color because of the green ramp rocks and all that stuff. Let's see. We're getting down to our... There we go. So now we're at 40%, 27% of colorless, 22%, 10%, 13.9. Is that enough? I think we have too much color. So maybe my removal is going to be a little bit off. Like this guy. Well, not necessarily that guy. That guy is going to hurt, and this guy is going to hurt. But at that point, if you're sacrificing, everybody's sacrificing their stuff, and you're left with your Scion tokens and your other Eldrazi, then that's totally fine. So, but what I'm getting at for the draw package is we might need to get rid of Mystic Forge. Cast artifact spells and colorless spells. It just, there might not be as much as I wanted. You have a quarter of it being colorless. And it's cast, so it's not playing the lands. We're going to get that guy to the sideboard. All right, 2 more cuts. Let's do 2 more. We're drawing off of our attacks. I like it. Unblockable. Realm Walker. Now, we do have a lot of Eldrazi, right? What do we got for Eldrazi now? We're down to 44 creatures and 21 of them Eldrazi. So, yes, Realm Walker is going to be very nice there. I don't really want to touch anything else with the draw package. The Eldrazi package might be my only other get. 2-drop. 7. We need that for removal. I like where we have all this, what our removal stuff is here. I don't like Wraths very much unless it's the one-sided stuff, and that's what these two are doing here, and this is spot removal. Plus it's giving you all that other stuff. I love what we have here for removal. We can add more removal later, but I like where that is sitting at the moment. And then our ramp rocks and dorks. We are 2 over what we would like to be, so maybe there's a cut somewhere in here. Maybe it's the wood elves. We already got our 5 fetches in there, so let's get rid of our wood elves. And let's get rid of one more thing, because I like Growth Spasm better because you're going to get a land and you're getting a Scion token, so that helps there. Let's get rid of one more, and then our this is a good package there. I don't see one. I don't see one to get rid of. And then we're at our main idea. We're at a good spot for that, so there's got to be some other things we got to get rid of. One more cut, and then I will do 10 off the stream, so I'm not wasting your guys' time. Mondrak is nice in there, especially since it's a creature. Ulek getting the multiple triggers there. Are we getting enough off of this guy? Any 4/4 colorless angels. You can't sack them for your manage. Eldrazi, so it does have the flying, which I do like. We got a little bit more evasion there. Skull Clamp's gonna be nice there. Let's just cut the commander. Call it a day. Did I get down to my 30? No, let's get a land. We're gonna pop one land. That'll be easy because, like I said, I want to. We have so much ramp and so much Eldrazi stuff that this part's just insane. So let's get rid of one of the lands. I do like having the life gain because we are going to have a lot of colorless stuff. We do need the green. What was our black? Our black was really low, so maybe that is one that we can get rid of. 13%. It's more of getting that Wooburg stuff. You know, you want to be able to get your multiplier from your commander. Hear the frustration sigh. Wait, I thought this was... Oh, never mind. Talking to myself. All right. I don't even know what land I would get rid of. That's where I was at, right? I was like, completely went away from it. I was like, oh yeah, let's get rid of the land. And then completely forget to go back to it. Color spells cost 2 less. Eldrazi Temple. These 2 should just be in there. Plaza. Oh, the World Tree helps with our mana fixing there. So that I forgot about that. Go search for God cards. I don't even think I have a God in here. Yeah, Stone Coil's a good add too. Don't give me more cards to add. No, I'm just kidding. I may get rid of Urborg because we are very heavy on green. So Urborg might be one that I just pop out of there. Because I want Cavern in there because we were doing tribal. And it has the colorless part to it, so I don't want to get rid of colorless. So maybe, yeah, I'm going to get rid of Urborg. That is going to go sideboard, and that'll get us down to our 110, and then we're kind of sitting good. 35 is where I feel comfortable with this deck because we're very low on our curve, and we are generating tokens. They are very low, so we got a lot of 1s, a lot of 2s, a lot of 3s, a lot of 4s, and then it really falls off, and we're generating a lot. So what is it at? 2.45. That's not bad at all. So I think we're sitting pretty good here. So I think the 35 I'd be more comfortable with. Okay. So I think that's good. Okay. So that's probably where I'm going to kind of wrap things up here. I do want to thank you guys that have joined here. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Parks, for jumping in there. Esteban as well, Renshai and Bill. If there are other things that maybe you see while you're going through the video later or whatever, if you're watching this at a later time and you're like, oh, I think you should cut this one, or maybe there's some cards that I'm missing that I maybe should be adding, especially the new stuff. Like I came across this when they were doing the spoilers, and I was like, this has to go in here. This is one of the top cards that has to be in this deck. That's going to help me with so many things in the deck. You're getting the ramp, you're getting the draw, using those tokens and sacrificing whatever you want to do with those. I think this one's perfect. So if there's anything else, please leave that in the comments. I'd love to see what else you guys can think of. I'm going to do the other 10 cuts off camera, and then I will do a final, either doing a final deck tech of it or kind of doing a goldfishing so you guys can kind of see how it runs at a later date. So once again, thank you guys for joining. And please, 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 please make sure you guys, if you're watching this right now, give it a like. That helps us out. That should do it for tonight. You guys have a good one. See you later. Bye. Sega.